There's pudding. Hello witches, wizards, muggles and no mages. I want to make this video as super quick as I can because I can imagine a video like this can potentially go on for a really long time. There is so much I could say, but I'm going to try and cut around the edges that I found most striking about seeing the play. I went to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child's book launch in London about a week before I was set to see the play, so I had this beauty in my grasp for about a week and it was absolute torture. I was dodging spoilers, I was just on high alert, and I kept looking at this beautiful specimen in my bedroom and thinking, this is what it means to suffer. If you've got tickets to see the play in a couple of months or next year, I know that's going to sound crazy, but hold that restraint and do not read the book. The book, in my opinion, was word for word pretty much to the play. Whatever they say in here, they said in the play. Whatever they did in here, they did in the play. It's very much identical. But reading this and seeing it visually are two completely different things. If you're reading this and you're wondering how they're doing the magic without CGI, let me tell you, real magic happened in that theatre. There were so many times where I was just like, what the actual Dumbledore's sock? I should probably state before you guys go any further, but the stuff I'm talking about and I've written in my notes, I think it will spoil things, so I just wouldn't watch this video unless you've seen the play or you've read the script book. Please don't. In my notes I wrote down to talk about the magic, so since I've got myself onto that topic first, let's talk about the magic. There is a moment in The Cursed Child where Scorpius and Albus are in the Black Lake during the Triwizard Tournament. In the play, they actually portray this so well. There's like this massive tank that comes down on the stage and Albus and Scorpius are just somehow swimming in it in Triwizard outfits. It's crazy. I don't even know how they did it. I don't know if it was real, but it looked real. It looked like real people. And then when we saw them coming out again, they were soaking wet, so I don't know, but they generally brought down a massive tank, I'm serious, and Scorpius and Albus are swimming in it, representing the Triwizard Tournament, and I was just like, oh my gosh, is this real life? The next thing I want to talk about is the Polyjuice Potion moments. When they were transforming into different people, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, when they used the Polyjuice Potion to transform into the parents to go to the Ministry of Magic to steal the Time Turner, that looked so real. One minute one actor was there, and then the next minute they'd completely vanished into thin air, and another actor was there, and I was just like, mind blown. I just could not get over the Polyjuice Potions bit. Like, my eyes just could not adjust, and I was sat relatively close to the front in the stalls, so I could just see everything, and there was some magic going on there. Like, I'm just so mind blown even right now. I just can't fathom it at all. I want to quickly touch upon the Flu Network system. They had a fireplace set on the back of the set with real flames coming up from the bottom, and whenever they like sort of represented using the Flu Network and flu powder to come through, they generally looked like they were coming down a slide. These flames would disappear just in the nick of time and they would come rolling out into the stage, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, that's like real fire. If that didn't work, they'd be burnt to a crisp. Usually I'm not one from saying the book is better than this or the movie's better than this or whatever, but there are some things in the play that I don't think can be portrayed as well into the book. I just basically wish I could take you all there to see it. It's something I want to share with everyone. I wish every Potterhead could see it. I so hope they take the Cursed Child play to America so lots of people in the States can see it. I'm trying to get through this quickly, but we're already like 8 minutes in on my video. It might be chopped up for you, but for me, I'm just like, we're in 8 minutes in. How has that even happened? I've talked about one thing. Let's talk about the most important part of it of all, which was Scorpius and Albus's relationship. I'm sorry, but why were they not together? I know everything isn't about shipping and relationships and romance, but oh my gosh, they were so canon. I actually felt like grabbing each of their heads and going, mwah! So canon, more so than Rose. Rose is a whole other topic, but I didn't really like that they tried to brush Scorpius quickly up with Rose at the end. Did not like that at all. I didn't like much about Rose, to be honest. I understood that she was very similar to Ron and Hermione. She was a very good combination of both, which I found really awesome, and her actress was perfect. But I didn't really like her in this play. I thought she was a bit mean to Albus. She basically deserted him when he wasn't like a popular Gryffindor in my opinion, and because he was friends with Scorpius, she was just like, I'm staying away from you and I'm focusing on Quidditch, and that's what she did. But when it came to the end and they kind of basically insinuated Scorpius and Rose, I was kind of just like, not really feeling it, please don't do that. Scorpius was my favourite character in the whole play, and in fact I think he's reached my top 5 favourite characters of the Harry Potter universe of all. He is the biggest cinnamon roll. He is just so adorable, so geeky, but so Malfoy at the same time. I saw a lot of Draco in him, oddly, but he had like the warm heart of his mother. There's a lot of speculation going around about how they shouldn't have really put Scorpius in Slytherin and how Albus was actually more Slytherin, and I do think that Albus was more Slytherin, but I definitely think they should have been in Slytherin. That rolls on to another factor I really liked about the play as a whole, including the book and the play. I love that Albus was in Slytherin because he was the first Potter child that was put in Slytherin, and that is so good for Slytherin because I hate all the house hate where Slytherins are evil and horrible, and they're really not. But I'm really glad that they put Albus in Slytherin with Scorpius, and because I totally ship them, the idea of them sharing Slytherin common room kind of makes me a little bit happy. I absolutely love their hugs in the play. Next thing I really loved, which I just want to brush on so quickly because we're just dragging on here, was the memories of little Harry under the stairs when Voldemort would come. They were like memories and nightmares for Harry, and then older Harry would wake up screaming in pain with his scar. It was just so cool. They'd set up like stairs and they put like poor little actor, small Harry, under there, and they'd have like these fingers of Voldemort like coming through out of the darkness. It was really quite scary. And Voldemort's like voice would just like echo around the theatre like, Harry Potter. Kind of actually felt like he was in the room or in your head. Next, can we just talk about the Dementors? If you have watched the play, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my Merlin, those things were terrifying. They actually look like, I'm not kidding guys, like they do in the films. There is a lot of Dementors in this play. There's a scene where 2 Dementors are flying down and then one just goes off into the audience. Oh my god, it's so spooky. Delphi, let's talk about Delphi. I thought that was such a surprise. I'm kind of guessing now that Delphi represents the cursed child. I'm still not 100% sure, so if you kind of know or you have an idea of who the cursed child technically is, leave it down below. I've heard a lot of people saying how the cursed child sounds like a badly written fan fiction because Voldemort and Bellatrix having a baby, and I have to admit that a little tiny bit of it does. That is quite bizarre to me, and the whole audience gasped when that came out in the play. I knew like Bellatrix was like obsessed with Voldemort, and maybe the Dark Lord had some urges and she was the closest person to, you know, get jiggy with. I don't know, but everybody has urges, right? Ooh. But yeah, the whole Delphi thing, being the daughter of Bellatrix and Voldemort, that was kind of a little bit weird, but I rolled with it. Voldemort in the play in general was really good in my opinion. He almost looks identical to Voldemort in the film, and I don't know how they did that because they used a lot of CGI in the film. He didn't even have a nose. In Voldemort's last scene in the play, he actually walks off the stage and through the audience. The play is definitely very interactive. Like, reading some of the reviews online, there's been a lot of mixed opinions about this, and that's Harry's parenting towards Albus and how he is as a person after all this time. My personal opinion, I think it was perfect. The things I hated about the Deathly Hallows and the time skip is that we just all assume that everything is merry and happy. I'm a really strong believer on the fact that after all that trauma, all that death and drama, Harry would not be okay. Guy would be traumatized. But me and one of my closest friends always said when we wrote fan fiction together that we really didn't like how they made Harry so happy. And this play didn't, and that's how I can kind of tell that JK had a lot of involvement in it, because I think she knows that about Harry as well. She said once that she wanted to base it around trauma and people coming out of trauma and dealing with that. And Albus is also quite an angsty teenager, and I actually think he's quite like Harry. So that's probably why Harry struggled to make this connection with him. Because talk about the Malfoys a little bit more, because we've said a lot about the Potters. Astoria Greengrass, what a character she sounded like. She was someone who seemed to have come into Draco's life, given him the strength to stand up to Lucius, helped soften him and warm his heart when he must have been so miserable after the Great Wizarding War. He must have been, I don't know, I think he would have been in a really dark place. I think he was in a dark place for a really long time during our story. But I think he would be so like lost and ashamed of himself for the things he's done, because he was just riddled by the belief of Lucius and how he should be, and how he should be this Death Eater and he should be doing these things. But actually, we all know Draco's not really like that. He was just very controlled by pleasing his dad, and that is a very normal thing to do when you're a young boy. But as he got older, we noticed the angst of Draco and the resentment, which Lucius didn't have. Lucius seemed to enjoy it, and he got his family into so much trouble. I really love how Astoria was described to not really care about blood or dirty blood or mudbloods. She was generally all about equality, and she portrayed that onto Draco, who then portrayed that onto Scorpius, and that's kind of how they raised him. I would have loved to have known Astoria. Seeing Snape in the play was really, really hard. Obviously, he was no Alan Rickman, but they did do him really well, actually. He didn't have Alan Rickman's voice, so it didn't really sell it for me, but the actor himself was really, really good. But it did make me feel a little bit emotional, because I'm still a bit sore from Alan Rickman. There's a scene where, on his last scene, where they somehow ignite this dough in like blue flames, and it goes across the stage, and it's just so sad. When Scorpius and Albus alternate between different realities with the Time Turner, I loved how Snape was still on the right side. He was still the spy, even in different realities. He was still the good guy, still undercover and suffering. So I really, really loved Draco's relationship with Scorpius. There is a scene at the end where Albus and Harry have a hug, and Scorpius runs up to Draco to kind of shake his hand, and then he wants to hug him, you can tell, and then Draco's like, we can hug too if you like, and it's just so sweet. I loved Draco as a parent, actually. He was so protective over Scorpius. He couldn't deal with him suffering. He just wanted him happy. He's a really good parent. Draco, you turned out to be such a good dad, like the opposite of your own. So well done you, Draco. Well done you. I love the scenes with Harry and Draco where they kind of had a bond, and Draco says it's really lonely being Draco Malfoy. I actually admired you sometimes in school. And although some people might watch that and think, oh, that's a bit out of character of Draco to say, at this age and at this point in his life, after meeting Astoria, losing her, having Scorpius, and everything that's happened, I don't think so. I think it would have re-evaluated Draco and made him think a bit more. I don't think that was out of character at all, and I loved their bonding sessions a lot. In fact, I loved Draco and Scorpius so much in this play. I actually love them almost more than the Potters. I'm going to wrap this up by talking about my final scene, because I'm running out of battery and this is getting on way too long. The final scene where all the characters, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Scorpius, Draco and Albus, all have to watch Harry watch his parents die again. I was actually purely crying. I didn't initiate that. Harry, to keep the balance of life and all the things that happened, his parents had to die again and he had to watch it. Everyone's kind of like, oh, we'll watch it with you, Harry. If you're going to watch it, we're going to. The parents are hugging the kids. The actor of Harry just really upset me. He proper screamed and cried, and you hear the voices of Lily screaming and stuff as well, and it was just such an emotional moment as a Potterhead. I'm going to wrap this up now because this video's got really, really long. I'm sorry about that. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave any of your thoughts down below, what you think about the book or the play, or just let me know, guys, because I just like reading your comments and stuff like that. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. This is the end of my Cursed Child 4 video arc for now, and I really, really hope you enjoyed the 4 videos. The next ones I think actually will be of my holiday in Florida. I'm going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter for the first time. Woo! I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Thank you for watching this video. If you did like it, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to join my Pygmy Puff army, and I'll see you all in the next video.